Hey Royals fans, welcome into our first ever Coffee with Coaches here at the 77 Coffee House, the D.D. Robinson Student Center here on the campus of Regent University. I'm Chris Sawyer, Sports Communications Director. We're going to go through our fall coaches, talk about their seasons coming up. But to start things off, we've got our leader, the man, Michael Allen, our Athletic Director. Welcome in, Coach.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
We call him Coach Allen here on campus. Michael, you're entering your third year here. We always talk about moving the needle.
Yep.
Let's talk about these years and where we are today and where you were when you started and where you see the program going.
Right. Well, first and foremost, we're just so appreciative of all the support that we get around Regent here, and everyone's just been awesome helping us lay the foundation of really building a successful college athletic department. So, kudos to Dr. Bada, who was the predecessor of me before I got here, and he really helped build a culture of just supporting the mission of Regent University. So we've tried to build on that. We want to do everything with excellence, innovation, and integrity, just really embrace those core values of Regent. That's the core values of the Royal Way that we've kind of dubbed around here. So yeah, hiring the right types of coaches that just embrace the mission of Regent, finding mission fit student athletes to really just embrace really why we're here, but also move the needle and lay a bigger, better foundation for our athletic programs. And our coaches are doing a phenomenal job, which, I'm glad that everyone's going to get a chance to meet all of our fall coaches today. But yeah, kudos to our student athletes. I mean, they're making a commitment. They're putting the time in the classroom first and foremost, but they're really putting the effort into the off seasons with, preseason development in the weight room, strength and conditioning, their conditioning, and just really learning to understand what that commitment is to be a college athlete. So really excited about the progress we've made in just the short 2 years and really the future here in the next 5 years.
Last year we had a lot of success. We're going to meet some of those coaches today who experienced that. But one of the big buzzes here around campus is something about the NCAA. Can you kind of talk about that, what's happening with that?
Sure. It's been about a year and a half legwork that went into this. So, can't get in all the weeds today, but really God just provided the opportunity that really Division III was the path that we wanted to go. The mission of Division III is to keep the student first and the athlete second, and obviously that's a mission here at Regent University. So we just felt like that was the best plan of action. And then also our location geographically. We're right here in the prime hotbed of Division III sports with the Old Dominion Athletic Conference and USA South Conference. So we just knew this was the direction God was taking us, and a lot of investment, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of planning, but we're starting that off officially here September 1st as our exploratory year. That's 1 year of us just learning more about the NCAA and them learning about us. We have an upcoming campus visit by the NCAA membership committee in October, so we're really gearing up for that. And then really just making sure that that's the direction we want to go and that we're set up to be successful. That's their job to guide us. And then if all goes well, we'll enter the provisional year next year, and that's a 3-year process. So it's a total 4-year transition process from an independent to an NCAA Division III. So we're really excited about the groundwork God has laid there and kind of where we're going. It's going to be a game changer in the life of Regent University here.
And we got some more game changers coming up, but we don't want to get into it, but we're going to tease it again too. Mm-hmm. We have the Royals Fest coming up, and there's going to be some announcements. Can you kind of talk about what we can expect without kind of getting letting the cat out of the bag?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously athletics, you have to have facilities, right? So there's going to be a big announcement per some athletic facilities coming to campus here at Regent, which is, like I said, going to be a game changer. And it's not going to be just facilities for our student athletes. These are facilities for our students, our faculty, our staff, our alumni, and they are overdue that we need those here on campus, and it's going to change the culture of this university for the better. So we're really excited about the announcement that's coming on September 20th. And then also a little bit of a new rebrand. A little bit about that. I can't really let the cat out of the bag on that one, but the university has done some research, and we're getting ready to launch a new mascot, and that's really all I can say right now.
All right, well, there's a lot of things happening. We appreciate your leadership. We're going to get into some of the coaches, but thanks, as you always say, we're moving the needle here at Regent.
We are moving the needle. Thanks for all you do, Chris.
All right, Coach, thanks. Next up, we're going to have our women's soccer coach in her first year, Briley Fillenworth. All right, Royals, we're back with first year head women's soccer coach, Briley Fillenworth. Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to Regent, too.
Thank you.
I know it's been a whirlwind for you, taking over late spring, early summer, getting your team ready. But Before we get into the program, talk about your background so people kind of get to know where you came from and what you did. I know you were a goalie in college, so talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Indiana, then I moved to Kentucky for my undergrad and graduate program. So I played at University of the Cumberlands for 4 years. Loved it, had fantastic coaches. They taught me a lot. I can credit a lot of what I learned about soccer from them. They have a very successful program. They actually won NAIA Nationals this past year, so I learned a lot from them. And I got my undergrad in exercise sports science there, and I was able to stay an extra year, and I worked for our campus ministries there and got my master's in health and human performances while working for FCA. So, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Well, let's talk about the team that you took over. You have some core players that are here, but you had to get out there, start recruiting, bringing in some young players, and we had a scrimmage last night. So we kind of saw how that team's come together. But talk about the process and then how that team did come together last night and get the shutout to win against Richard Bland.
Yeah. So it's like you said, it's been a whirlwind of spring, summer, and fall for me. We had quite a few girls stay. We had quite a few girls leave. Some girls that transferred, and I'm praying over them, and God's leading them in the right direction. But I'm very proud of the girls who are staying, and they're working really, really hard. We have about 50-50 returners, 50% new players, 50% returners, and it's really cool seeing how they're working together and really loving on each other. One of my big emphasis for this year was if you learn nothing about soccer, I want you to learn how to love each other and love each other like Christ does. And I think they're really buying into it. It's really cool seeing how I gave them responsibility of making team core values and team rules, and a lot of theirs were very focused on God and family, and which I really appreciated. Every single practice, we pray before practice and after practice, and that's something they wanted to do. So I think that's a huge part of how they're able to connect, is because they're connecting off the field as much as they are on the field. We only have 2 hours with them every single day, and so I can do as much soccer as I want with them, but they've really taken it into their own hands to love each other and learn each other well. So.
Yeah, I think it's a great building process, and kind of as Coach Allen just said with our NCAA, trying to get in there. You guys have really stepped up your competition on your schedule this year.
Yeah.
You go to regentroyals.com, you can see it. Talk about that. A lot of Division III schools that you're going to, they're coming in here. I mean, that's a big thing for your first year, but how do you prepare your team for that step up?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they react to playing tougher teams. But honestly, I think a lot of our girls are excited for it. I think they're ready for the next step. A lot of them came here because they wanted to be part of a competitive program. And, Regent's stepping in that direction where we're going to be more competitive. We're going to be playing better teams. And I think a lot of the girls are buying into it. It's definitely going to be a learning season. And the girls all know that. They know that even if we do lose against some of these better teams, that it's a learning opportunity, and they can grow from it. And it's just one step in the right direction. So next season we can just build upon what we built this season. So.
Speaking of building, real quick, you're a goalie.
I am a goalie.
You have 2 returning goalies.
Yeah.
Talk about the importance of that. I mean, you get your team how you want to play, your philosophy, but talk about having the 2 goalies back.
Oh, and it's so nice being able to have 2 solid goalkeepers and being able to trust both of them, especially where my playing style, I really love to build out of the back. I love being able to incorporate our keeper in every single part of the play, whether that's our defense dropping it back to our keeper or our keeper finding our midfield. It's all about moving the ball around the field, and being able to have that 11th player on the back who can use their feet, super important. And Kristen and Ogo, they both have stepped up a lot this year. I've seen them improve over the summer. They both came back fit, ready, and confident going into this season, and I really appreciate it. And it's nice being able to trust them in those positions. And I'm a little bit of a goalkeeper freak, and I love learning the position, and I love teaching the position. So it's fun having 2 players who are just as confident and passionate about the position as I am.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Best of luck this season. Check out again their schedule, regentroyals.com. We'll be right back with the legend, track and field cross-country coach, Michael Rose. Hey, Royals, we're back. I called him the legend. I like to give him a hard time, but we have our cross-country head coach and track and field head coach, Michael Rose. Coach, welcome in.
Thank you, Chris.
He's still on me for the legend comment. Entering his 2nd year. Coach, talk about, you came in here, took over a program, and one of your big things has been building it, going out recruiting, bringing in new students. And one of the philosophies I love about you that I want people to know is you can turn someone into a runner. And that's really been your philosophy, and that's what you're doing here at Regent. But talk about from when you stepped foot on campus to where you guys are today, and specifically cross country.
Well, cross country is a unique sport where, like you said, as long as you have two legs and a heart, I can work with that. That means you have the passion to run. So, it's basically teaching athletes how to run, basically. And everyone, as you know it, can run. Regardless if they can run fast, slow, or whatever the case may be, you can run. The key is learning how to build up your endurance so you can keep going longer, longer, and longer. So that's one of the things I decided to do when I came here, is to help build a cross-country program so that we can have the base. And funny that you should ask me about cross-country, because one of the things I use with other things in reference to cross-country is also from track athletes. Get them started early in reference to get them in condition and so forth. So necessarily to build Regent cross-country program is to just have 5 boys, 5 girls, so we can get the ball rolling.
Talk about your philosophy with recruiting, though. Even with we can talk a little track and field as well, because it goes hand in hand. You actually have some track and field student athletes running on your cross-country team. How do you make that work when you're out recruiting kids to do that, or maybe some of the players that you already have?
Well, it's my philosophy and foundation of building my athletes, because I want my athletes, especially if they're a long sprinter, that is the 400 meter hurdles, you need to have a solid foundation, a solid background, and cross country is a good foundational build for that. And what I sell to my athletes when I'm out recruiting is, look, you come into the program that I'm building here at Regent, you will be good. If you do what I'm asking you to do, you will get better, you will improve, you will hit goals that you want to hit. There are many different philosophies of how to build a program, but I've learned from my years of running from back in Jamaica and when I came here to the States is the foundation, what you do in the fall, is pivotal for what happened in the winter and the spring semesters.
One unique thing, we talked about our step up in competition, but your program's already been doing it. When you go to a meet, you may see a Division 1, 2, and 3 schools competing against that. How does that help your program, help your student athletes as they prepare for, hopefully making the nationals?
Well, it's amazing that with track and field and cross country, it's not like you have to play a certain division because you're that school. Our meets, you can have from JUCO level all the way up to the Power 5 schools competing at the same meet, because with running, you basically only need one runner really to make it to nationals in reference to as an individual event. But with cross country, the space is so wide in reference to competition level, it's running, and you can have a kid from Regent that is not highly recruited from high school go out and beat someone that was highly recruited, say to George Mason or VCU, one of those bigger schools, and compete against them. And just because that kid came in and decided to work hard and improve, it's not a skill set sport where, like in basketball or soccer, you have to have that skill set. Running, you can keep running and developing your expertise in your efficiency in running, and you just take off like that. So that's a good thing about cross country and track and field. The skill set doesn't necessarily have to be there in the beginning, but it can be developed in a short period of time.
Before I let you go, last year you had a number of school records. How do you build upon that this year?
The incoming class pretty much is either they're better or at the same level for what we already have. And this year when I went out recruiting for athletes that want to be here and explain to them what my plan is for them to succeed. And most of them bought into it, and most of them are here on campus and ready to hit the road running. So I'm excited how we're going to break these records, because they're already talking about records already, and I'm just here, hey, we're not focusing on that right now. Let's focus on the fall, let's get through the fall, and then we'll see where the chips lay.
All right, first meet, August 31st up at University of Richmond. Best of luck to you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Coach, hey, we'll be right back with our head men's soccer coach, Sam Okai. All right, Royals, we are back at our fall coffee with coaches here at the 77 Coffee House in the D.D. Robertson Student Center. We've got really the longest tenured coach here at Regent, entering his 8th year at the helm of the soccer program, men's soccer coach Sam Okai. Coach, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right, 8 years, a long time. You've seen it all here since the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is a good way to talk about the growth of your program, and where last year was one of your best seasons yet. Got it. Some newcomers coming in, some core guys. Talk about how you've grown over the past and where you're looking at this year with some of the newcomers coming in.
Yeah, man, if I look back to 2017 when we started, I remember getting an email, I think in April, that, hey, we want to start a men's and women's soccer program. I said, when? They said this year. I'm like, this is April. So I started calling coaches around, coaches in ODU, CNU, and get the ball rolling. When I look back and see the growth numerically and on and off the field, I can't but just be grateful to God. I remember when we started, we didn't have a lot of numbers, and and let me just say this. I remember sharing with my boss and some of the coaches recently. I remember in 2017, there was this day that our late founder, Dr. Robinson, I remember him praying, and encouraging us that, don't despise the days of little beginning. That I remember him holding hands with us and praying that, guys, I see this athletic program growing and athletes from all around the world coming to run for Christ and play for His glory. So to look back and see where we are now, I can't but just give glory to God that, God has really brought us far.
And that progress is showing. I mean, we know it's not all about wins and losses, but as our AD says, if they're going to keep score, we want to win.
Definitely.
But last year was a great year for you guys. You just had a scrimmage across the tunnel with Virginia Peninsula.
Yes.
A big 5-2 win.
Yes.
And you really saw how your upperclassmen have come together. They were out there kind of controlling everything that happened on the field, using your philosophy. Talk about that game a little bit. Scored a quick goal, I believe, in the first 20 seconds.
So every game we try to have a strategy, but one of my philosophies is I don't want a team of a superstar. I want a super team. So I'll tell the boys, if we are a super team, then winning will be a byproduct. So I remember even the year before, the talent that I had on the team was one of the best in the history of the program. But we only won one game because I couldn't get them all to play as a team because some individuals want to be the stars. So last year I said, this is not going to happen. I need us to play together as a team if we're going to win. And they all bought into it and we had a great season. So going from winning one game to winning, I think, about 6 or 7, that was phenomenal. So the last game, I knew it was going to be very difficult because the team that we played against were better, technically, physically, because they brought in new freshmen and some transfers, right? So I knew it was going to be better, but we stuck to our game plan. We want to be aggressive. We want to have more of the ball. And, it went well. We won. But what impressed me was the mentality that some of the freshmen showed. They came, we're running and we're aggressive, and we stuck to our plan, and we got the win. So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Well, we got things starting off here. You go to Greensboro College, then you head over to St. Andrews. Got a little road trip this weekend coming up. Big step up, Division I schools you're playing. You were on ESPN Plus last year. I believe you'll probably be on it again this year. So keep track, regentroyals.com. You can look at Sam's schedule. Coach, best of luck this year, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll be back with Coach KT, volleyball. Welcome back. Last but not least, we are joined by our head women's and men's volleyball coach. We like to call around here Coach KT. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good.
A lot of people might not know this. Coach was All-Region Coach of the Year last year. We also had the Player of the Year as well. And I wanted to start with that. I know you don't want to talk about the individual accolades, but the one team accolade we had was we won the region tournament and got to go really punched our ticket to nationals in Missouri. Talk about that, and how do you build off that coming into a new year? We've lost the Player of the Year to graduation, but you're rebuilding. But talk about that.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. We talk about that game still. It was the most fun game I've ever coached in my life. The girls just did everything that we could have possibly wanted them to do. We got to see just this beautiful culmination of all the things that we had been working to build. And the beautiful thing is we have so many returners coming back this year, so we really do have a solid foundation to build on. A lot of the things that we didn't really get a hold of until about halfway through the year, we're already starting preseason, going through and repping those things in a very similar way that we did last year. So it's really exciting to have that foundation.
You know, and you got to see that. You had an early preseason scrimmage against Bryan and Stratton down the road at their place. I know it was a 4-set scrimmage, but typically you win on 3. You won 3 in a row to really take it 3-0. But talk about what you saw about let's talk about your newcomers too, because they've kind of bought in. You could tell on the court they bought into what your upperclassmen and you were telling them to do.
Yeah, that was a wild game. We had so much fun that night. We tried to come in with no expectations except to learn ourselves a little bit more, to learn our team and to learn the individual players. But we were so pleasantly surprised by just how much heart that they had, and they are just a very relentless team, and they're a really fun team to watch because they are so scrappy. We have still lots of things we're working to build on, but just the energy and their love for the game. One of the girls was really transparent with us after the game and said that being a part of this team has restored her love for volleyball. So that was beautiful and just so exciting to see them be so on fire for volleyball.
And that success has translated into the stands too. I think we had a conversation yesterday. That's the most fans you've seen, even if it was our home game. Talk about that. I mean, success brings the fans out. We have a lot of students coming down. It was close. But talk about that support that you guys received.
Yeah, I think the team last year just really created some buzz around the volleyball program, and it's been amazing seeing the fans. So thank you guys for coming out. Honestly, that made the experience 10 times better. They just really fed into the energy that the girls had on the court, and then the girls got to feed off of them. And so it was just a blast seeing so many people there, just so excited to help them be successful this year.
All right, and we've asked every coach, step up in competition. You play a lot of D3 schools anyway, but you're doing it again this year. Also have your region games, but you start out 31st. You've got Clinton from the region. Then you got Randolph College, a Division III out of the ODAC coming in. Before we go talk about that, your excitement, and again, August 31st over at Norfolk Christian.
Yeah, we're very excited. We're already building to that. Honestly, today I was looking at stats from our games against them last year. So we're just really excited to go in and compete at a really high level for our first game. We haven't typically started off so strong, but we're excited to go in very aggressively in our first games this year, and I'm excited to see what the girls can do so early in the season.
All right, well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Best of luck this year. All right, hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to our first annual, our Fall Coaches with Coffee here at the 77 Coffee House at the D.D. Robinson Student Center. I want to thank all of our coaches, all our fans, our AD. Especially want to thank, this is all student produced, so thank the guys behind the cameras from media and television from the School of Communication. We'll be back in the winter with our winter coaches. But until then, today's the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And as always, go Royals.